UK? Do you want to make sure that your UK fiancé visa is sorted as quickly and as efficient as possible? If you do, watch this video. Hi guys! Hello! Hi guys! How are you doing today? In this video, I'm going to discuss how you would be able to apply for your UK Fiancé Visa 2019, and I will also provide the step-by-step guide on how you're gonna do it. So if this is your interests, please stay around. By the way, my name is Queentas and I live here in the UK with my awesome British husband. And if this is your first time, please don't forget to give me a like and a comment, and also subscribe to my channel. There you go. So by the way, as a disclaimer guys, I am not a visa officer. I don't work in the immigration office. I am also not an expert, but my own visa journey has compelled me to do some researches and also offer help to people that are struggling to go through the processes of applying different visa. So this is why I am doing this video, and hopefully this will be able to help you in a little way, if not in every details that I'm able to offer. So and you're free to share this video if you know someone needs or is trying to apply for a fiancé visa here in the UK. So first of all, let me explain to you what is a fiancé visa here in the UK. It is a type of visa that will allow you to enter in the UK and marry your partner, who can be a British national or a person who is present and is settled here in the UK. And this visa can lead to ILR, I meaning indefinite, L meaning leave, and R meaning remain, indefinitely remain. So, and this fiancé visa is valid for 6 months. By the way guys, this video may take a little longer than my usual videos, but I want you to watch until the end because I'm going to be discussing a little bit detail on every requirement especially. So there you go. What are the requirements when you wanted to obtain a fiancé visa? So here you go. The number one requirement is you must have, or you must be in a genuine and subsisting relationship. Number two, you must meet the English language requirements. What's the next one? The next one is you must show that you are free of tuberculosis. Next one, you must meet the financial requirements, and you must show adequate accommodation when you arrive here in the UK. Sounds really basic, very basic, doesn't it? But let's go to the details of each of these requirements on how you are able to really satisfy each requirements that I am telling you about. So let's do with the step one, your relationship requirements. So how are you going to meet your relationship requirement, guys? Number one is you must intend to marry your partner within the 6 months period once your visa is approved. And then your partner should be a British national or should be present and settled here in the UK, or someone who has a permanent resident under EU law, or someone who is with a refugee leave, or someone who has a humanitarian protection. So any of those category can be your fiance or partner. Then number 2, in this relationship, you should be both above 18 years old. So to prove this, you should submit a passport which is not expired and have one page without any stamps. So that is the relationship requirements. And also in the relationship requirement, guys, you should be already able to have met in person. So this is required for you to be able to become a fiance. You cannot be allowed that you are applying a fiance visa and then you have not met your partner. And then the next one is the person that you're applying to become your fiance should not be in any way related to you. And then you must intend to live with your British partner or fiance here in the UK permanently. Lastly, you should persuade the Home Office that you are really in a very genuine and subsisting relationship. So you should be able to provide good relationship evidence. So this is how you should prepare your relationship requirements. Now, to do this, you should be able to come up with your relationship documents. So this is your step number 2 in your application. Step number 2 is to prepare your relationship documents. So what are these relationship documents? If you are already previously married, number 1, you should be able to obtain a divorce certificate. So it could be like something that has been allowed in your country. I know for a fact that in the Philippines we don't have any divorce, so you should be legally separated. Or if you are not married before, both of you should be able to present that you are in legal capacity to be to marry. So no marriage certificate. And then documents about your relationship could be your chat logs. So this is not actually really required, but this is highly recommended. For everyone that applies for fiancé visa, spouse visa, this is highly recommended because obviously you have to prove that you are in touch, you are communicating, you have this how do you prove that you are that you love each other when you don't communicate? So that is very much of a common sense. So I'm going to give you some tips on how you will get chat logs, and I'll provide it in the description below. Like for example, how do you collect your chat logs? And then to prove your relationship, you could also obtain third-party testimonials. So you could either ask your friends, your family, your doctor to make some testimonials for you. And obviously, you have to make it in such a way that this is believable, because anyone can do, like make some paperworks. But if you also ask these people to provide, a copy of their passport, or have these documents also notarized by a solicitor or a lawyer, then these testimonials will bring so much bearing with your application. And also, as part of your relationship documents, you could provide photographs. So any photographs that proves that you have been together is really essential. Okay? So what else? Have I forgotten anything? marriage and honeymoon plans. So in your relationship documents, you could also provide like your wedding arrangements, if you have made any bookings, if you have purchased dresses, or if you have any invitation venues that are already, like set in place. I know here in the UK you cannot apply any like book any marriage at the registrar unless the person is already here in the UK. Is that right, honey? We did our marriage at the registrar, so the both of the persons have to be here. But if you have any,
Sorry, can I just say, no, so when you do book it, the notification goes on the public display board in the registrar's office, and people have a certain number of days to challenge it or go against it.
Yeah, so that is in the registrar. But since if you're not yet here in the UK, you cannot do that. So you could already show that you have purchased tickets of your honeymoon, or you're already able to purchase dresses and etc., and made invitation, etc. So in this regard, with the documents of your relationship, the evidence that you have met should include photos. Definitely, your social media nowadays is really easy. Maybe your posts in Instagram or Facebook, anything that you can collate. So this should not be like tons or bundles or like hundreds of photographs. What we did when I applied for my marriage visa before, it's not a fiance visa, but the requirements are similar. I made actually a simple like booklet that I collate all the cards, all the letters, because when we were during our days, it's not so much of the internet yet. We still send cards, and we still send letters, and then photographs that we were together. So that is what I did. So you can do the same. Maybe like you could print several photographs that are dated, like this is during when you ate in this restaurant, or when you went in this location. So date different dates, not several pictures on one place, different locations where you have been together. Okay, so those are your documents that will prove your relationship. So number 3 step is to have to prepare the documents that you have to submit. So this is step number 3. Prepare the documents that you have to submit. Number 1 is your current passport. So it should not be expired. We always say this. Or and it should have like pages that are empty, that doesn't have any stamp. Number 2, you could also submit your expired passports that shows your travel history, especially if those were like those were here from the UK. I did that. I always, because before we got married, I have already visited here in the UK, and we have not yet been together that time. And then you have to create an A4 size copies of your passport. You should make every single page a copy of your travel documents. So if you have travel history, make an A4 size copy of those. Every single page that you can get. Okay, and then for your partner also, your partner should prepare evidences of his of himself, also his passport, and also if he is a British national, his passport, like all his documentations that proves that he is British. And if he is a present and a person that is settled here in the UK, certificates that proves that he is a person that is allowed here to stay in the UK. What else? Okay, so let's go to the next one, and this is the English language requirement. So basically, all you have to do is to pass an A1 English language test for your fiancé visa. But expert experts always recommends that if you have a better command of English language, to get a higher level of test. Like for example, if you want, because you would need a higher level of test, English language test, if you do like FLRM and spouse visas. So if you are really good in English and confident that you would pass the test, might as well take the A2 or B1 requirements. So taking higher level of test will save you time and will also save you money. So the details of what are the accredited places where you could get your English test here in the UK and as well as in your country, I will put in my description. So just check those information in the description of this video. So that is one way of passing your or meeting your English requirement. You could also meet your English requirement, language requirement, if you have an equivalent bachelor or master's degree of the English test here in the UK. So you can check that out with the website of the visa website. And if you also came from a country which does not require English, because you have English as your first language or mother language. So the countries that are not required for English test are also in the description, and also I will show you the link where you could find this countries that do not require English. And also, if you are 65 years old and above, or if you have a very exceptional circumstances. So normally this will be obtained at the website of the government, where all this information are included. Okay, so that's your English language requirement. Now next one is your tuberculosis. So check if your country is required. I know for a fact that most Asian countries, third world countries, are required of the tuberculosis test. Like for example, the Filipinos are required. So check if your country is required of the tuberculosis test before you could enter into fiancé visa here in the UK. And check also which are the approved centers, because you cannot just get any tests from any hospitals or doctors. You have to get it from accredited and approved centers, similar to English tests. The UK visa home office has accredited or approved centers where you could do your tuberculosis. So check in the website whether your country is required to obtain a tuberculosis requirement. Okay, so that's it. Now next one. What is the next requirement, guys? Is for you to be able to meet the accommodation requirement. So this requirement, your UK partner should be able to prove and to provide your adequate accommodation in their cover letter. So they should show that they are able to provide this. Write this in their cover letter. And in your end, you should be able, or you must be able to provide a document that show that you have an adequate accommodation once you arrive here in the UK, and also once you are already married. So how do you do this? If you're renting, if your partner is renting, he should be able to obtain a letter which is signed and dated from the landlord or from the state agent. So that is one way of obtaining a proof of accommodation. But if you're partner is the one owning the accommodation or the house or the flat, he should be able to obtain a title deeds from the land registry. When I applied for my spouse visa here in the UK already, this was in 2017, we were still sharing our house with my parents-in-law. So my solicitor showed me how we could get the land registry deeds showing that this place is, like returning to my parents-in-law. So you have to make an account. We did an account, no, honey? We registered to the land registry, and you're
Small fee to pay.
yeah, you have to pay a small fee, so you're able to obtain those information. But those are necessary. We have to do what we've got to do. And also, not just you have those documents, you also have to provide an evidence that the place is adequate and not overcrowded, because here in the UK, the government is against overcrowding. So how do you do this? You can submit photographs of the house, and also you could pay a surveyor. Normally it's about 95 pounds, or it depends on where you are, could go up until 150 to 175 to obtain an inspection report of your accommodation. So that's how you will provide your adequate accommodation requirements. So I hope it's clear. If you have any question about this, just give me a comment. And I hope that you are enjoying this video. I know that this is a bit not the exciting videos that I'm always tackling, but I wish to be able to provide as much details as I can. Next step is meeting your financial requirements. So the financial requirement for fiancé visa is similar to spouse visa. You should be able to meet the 18,600 annual salary, or you should be able to provide a cash savings, show a proof of cash savings, which is 16,000 pounds for the last 6 months. Or if you have at least 62,500 cash savings, which will satisfy the financial requirements. If you want to see more details about this, I'm going to put the link and information at the description of this video. And you could always also double check the government's website that I'm going to put at the description of this video. Now we are down to the last 2 steps, and this one is about your cover letter. So writing your supporting letter and cover letter is one of the most important part of this application. So you should write the following information in your cover letter. Number 1, how the UK partner will meet the financial requirements. So you should explain that he's working in so-and-so company, his salary is so-and-so amount, and this enclosed are the pay slips and bank statements. You have to write this in detail. Then you should include in your cover letter what are the accommodation will be there for you, and when you arrive in the UK and once you are married. So you should explain, we're going to live in my fiance's flat, which he's renting in yada yada yada. He's been here for a long time. It has 3 bedrooms, because especially in London, most people don't own houses because it's expensive. But flats could be 1-bedroom flat, 2-bedroom flats, and enclosed is the tenant agreement, blah 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 blah. So you have to write that in the cover letter. And then you have to also provide information about your relationship, including your intent to marry and your wedding plans. So with regards to this application, we wanted to we persuade the entry clearance officer that we are in a genuine relationship. As a matter of fact, our wedding ceremony is scheduled on this date, blah 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 blah. We have already purchased our wedding gown and have already prepared the invitations, booked the restaurant. So you have to make this letter and also include all the other information that will support your application, that is relevant to your relationship in that cover letter. Okay, now this is one of the most important step, which is preparation of your application pack. So you don't want to put the officer in a huge, like humongous headache, and he doesn't. Sometimes it's down to how you present your application. It's down to how you show that how meticulous and organized you are. So we suggest that you submit your application in a very, very organized manner. We recommend that you use the following, like Polly Pockets, Post-its, and A4 folders. So why do we recommend this? So when you prepare your evidences, at least they are already in separated, and the officer will be looking on different folders and will be able to review. They're not like put together and where do I start? The officer is like, oh, where do I begin? So you don't do that to them. So I always do that whenever I collate documents. Well, these are not the documents that I brought, but because I have a solicitor. But even in my personal stuff, I always have separators like this one. So these are proof of ownership bills for my mother-in-law and my father-in-law. This is my English certificate. This is pay slips. These are how I collate my documents, because remember, we will reapply for future extensions. Like for example, my spouse visa indefinitely to remain. I would want to apply for British citizenship. So I want my documents to already be in order. I don't collate them like when I need them. So I organize my things ahead of time. So these are letter of sponsorship, so that when I do it again, I do have my pattern. So statement of account, letter of support, tickets. These are NBI, police clearance, passport, visa. So proof of address. So what do you do in this application is you separate everything, like accommodation documents, financial documents, chat logs, proof of relationship. All these are already separated so that they are in order when the entry clearance officer checks them. So it's easier for them to see what documents have you provided. And once you're able to prepare the pack, then you're ready. This is the time that you go online and apply for your fiancé visa. So there you go, guys. I'm gonna do a separate video on how you do an online application on your fiancé visa step by step. But for this time, I hope that I'm able to provide you a clear overview on how you will do your fiancé visa application. And if you do like this video, please give me a thumbs up And don't forget to share this video to your friends and families that may need to apply fiancé visa here in the UK. And also, please don't forget to subscribe and support my channel. And if you want to hear more visa videos and check my other visa videos, you can check the links that are in the description of this video. And you could also click the notification bell so that once I upload a visa video, anything that is about applying visa or visa related here in the UK, you can get notified. All right, so just let me know if you find this video helpful, and just give me a comment so that I'll be able to assist you with your inquiries. And if you want to get in touch with me as well, you could email me. My email address is queentas68@gmail.com, or you could send me a direct message via Twitter, which is Queentas3. There you go, my friends. I hope that your fiancé visa will be as smooth as possible, and that you and your partners or your fiancés will be together as soon as possible. Take care. Love you. Bye bye.